When it comes to Star Wars games, it's always usually a hit or a miss. One year we may get something really good like Jedi Fallen Order or Jedi Survivor, in some cases. Back in the day when we had The Force Unleashed 1 and 2, which were simple masterpieces, and even the LEGO games with LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga and the Complete Saga, which are of course absolute gems nowadays. Now the first ever one I ever played was Star Wars Battlefront 2, and that thing absolutely slaps. I mean, everyone loves Battlefront 2. Then a few years later I of course played Jedi Fallen Order, and I thoroughly enjoyed Cameron's story. Cal's story tells a very unique Star Wars story in between both of these games, and I hope to God they can actually come back with a third game, no doubt in 2029 or 2030, because this really needs to continue, and I'm excited to see how they continue his character forward. And now that brings us to 2024 with Star Wars Outlaws. When they first announced this game, I was extremely skeptical, considering these are the same guys that are behind the Division 1 and 2. Not gonna lie, I love the Division 1, but the Division 2 just isn't where it hit for me. But after seeing the trailer, I actually am visually surprised. The open worlds look raw and authentic, and also the stealth missions seem like they could be a lot of fun in the process. From what the developers have said anyway, it's going to be entirely based on the exploration, and we're going to be able to explore multiple different Star Wars locations. The upgrade system in this game does look like it is very understandable, which is something we definitely need. I mean, I definitely don't want to go through a full upgrade system as well as complex as Elden Ring or some shit, but I'm glad it's actually a little bit more simplified in something like this. You also have the ability to upgrade your starship, which is, up until this point, I don't believe has ever been a feature in any other Star Wars game, only with the lightsabers, but this is actually a very cool feature. There's apparently going to be two different playstyles in this game. You can be a really chill smuggler, or you can be out a full-on blazing badass with guns. I mean, it's really up to you, and I think I'm probably going to know exactly what I'm going to choose in this game. I mean, if you don't choose the guns, then what other kind of experience do you have in this game? I think the guns is the only way to go in as far as a Star Wars game. As far as we know, lightsabers are not really a thing in this game, as it's more solely focused on gun gameplay, but if we actually do get the chance to wield a lightsaber, I wouldn't mind, considering we've had lightsabers in every other single Star Wars game before this. So I mean, in a way, lightsabers in Star Wars games are pretty oversaturated at this point. I really don't mind if it gets added in or not. I suggest if you really want a good lightsaber experience, go ahead and play Jedi Fallen Order or even Jedi Survivor, because those games handle the lightsaber very, very well. Or even going back to The Force Unleashed back in those days, because of course that is one of the best Star Wars games of all time. So yeah, I mean, there's always going to be other times where you can use lightsabers, so I'm really not that angry about that. It's always going to be something to put in something a bit new and original. So yeah, I'm glad they're going down that route. It also seems like it's going down the cyberpunk route with its multiple choice system, and of course I'm all for this, as it gives the player customization on their own experience in this game. So yeah, I mean, I low-key dig that. Your decisions you make will heavily impact the story and the choices you make in becoming an evil person or even not being on the good side, which I'm all for as well. I mean, who wouldn't want to be like a part of the Sith or the dark side, as well as even being kind of on the light side / Jedi side. I mean, I think this game could offer a lot of diversity. I have heard that this game will add some kind of multiplayer mode into this, so hopefully this will be a decent multiplayer experience and not one that just wants to take your money randomly. Looking at you, Suicide Squad. The whole multiplayer experience will allow you to team up with your own friends and actually conquer missions together. I think if you do have some kind of friends to play this game with, I think it will be actually a thrilling experience for both of them. And if the game is actually as open world as it says it is, I think they'll have no problem doing really well in sales. Play as an outlaw called Kay Vess, and she's pretty much trying to scavenge for new land in the galaxy. She's got a companion named Nyx, which is kind of like almost as if Toothless from How to Train Your Dragon and Spyro had a baby. It's kind of odd looking, but I mean, I think I'm going to grow to like him in the game. And since I've heard so many people are complaining about her face, I mean, for God's sake, it's not even out yet, and considering this game is still sort of in development, just about to release at the end of this month, doesn't mean you have to fucking go in and criticise every single thing going on with this game, especially when it's not even the final product yet. Especially the mocap actress that's playing her is literally probably getting a ton of backlash for this, which is just complete bullshit, especially from tons of trolls and the hating audience and in the Star Wars community. I mean, it's just completely uncalled for, so yeah, just cut this girl some slack, man. And I bet when this game releases, everyone's going to be gushing about how good this character is in this game, and they're going to completely regret every single thing they said. I think having a companion in this game is definitely going to come in really handy, especially if you have a creature that is going to be able to squeeze into tight spaces and solve various puzzles for you is definitely going to be a really helping hand. Your companion Nyx can distract enemies, being able to sneak up on them with ease. And I'm also assuming this little guy will be a major helping hand in the gunfights. And as for the visuals, this has got to be one of the most visually stunning Star Wars games I've seen so far. Whether that's really in the sandy areas or the really dark musky areas, that all has a similar life to it. Every world looks and feels different. And especially when you're making something like Star Wars, you need to have that kind of diversity within your game. I hope the side missions in this game aren't too repetitive, especially within other types of games we've seen multiple side missions be just the exact same thing all over again. So hopefully this game kind of diversifies with its content and makes us want to actually play the side missions rather than just throwing a whole bunch of shit at us at once. Keeping track of side missions in this game would definitely be a very handy option, especially if you want to go back and do further notice, especially if you can't do it while doing the main story. As far as the villains that we could see in this Star Wars game, it really differs because this game takes place around the Empire Strikes Back era, meaning that we could possibly see a return of Darth Vader. I mean, he's been in pretty much every single Star Wars game at this point, but I don't know if they'll ever actually feature Darth Vader. I mean, who knows, just for making that money profit they may actually just add him in for the sake of it. But even if we get a boss fight with Darth Vader, I just feel it'd be too similar to what we got in Jedi Fallen Order. I mean, hell, I'd actually be fine with having a Boba Fett boss fight in this game, considering we've not really had a proper Boba fight or any kind of Jango fight in any type of the games. Obviously Jango can't even happen because of course he died in Attack of the Clones, but of course we can see Boba in this game as a somewhat character. So hopefully if he does show up, then we can have a little boss fight with him. Maybe in the kind of desert area, who knows what they could do. But there's so many options when it comes to boss fights in this game, they have so much to play with here. It has been confirmed that you will take some missions from Jabba the Hutt. I've not really heard anything about a boss fight yet, but having a boss fight with Jabba would be fucking insane. I can reckon that this game will give us a few different Star Wars character cameos, maybe a little bit from Boba Fett, maybe a little bit from Darth Vader, maybe even something from Palpatine, who knows. But all in all, whatever they decide to go with, I think it will definitely be a good choice nonetheless. As far as Star Wars games go, I believe this will definitely be the most expansive we've ever had. Having the ability to switch planets whenever we want and seamlessly go wherever we want towards other planets throughout the galaxy is something that we haven't ever glossed upon in any Star Wars game up until this point, let alone having literally zero loading screens in between, which will be insane, and that is thanks of course to the insane processing power of the PS5 and the Xbox Series X. It would be absolute perfection if we could actually upgrade our ship to a standard that we want, especially that's even something that could be in the game that has been confirmed. Even having things like in the X-Fighter or even the TIE Fighter in this game, just giving you some more alteration and more definitive gameplay with our style. I mean, having in those types of vehicles in the game would probably just blow everyone's mind away, as we only really control TIE Fighters and all these other kind of vehicles in or within the LEGO games, so that would be an awesome feature to have, not just having one ship to travel around in. Now let's get into the big bad question: how much is this game going to be when it releases? Well, there are in fact two options you can choose from when it comes to this. I don't know why the deluxe edition is over £112. They are saying they are giving some next level content, but come on now, we've already seen how that's went and you've pretty much scammed people's money with Suicide Squad. I mean, nothing really happens with that. And the version that most people are likely to get is of course the standard edition, which is probably the one that I will go for when I eventually do pick up this game. I'm definitely not going to go all out for a collector's edition at £112 because no one in the right mind would just want to swith out that kind of money, especially for a Star Wars game. Especially with previous deluxe editions being absolutely terrible with just extra money being wasted. Suicide Squad is of course a great example that I brought up. Yes, we had in-game transactions, but for the people that actually bought the deluxe edition, you had other things that you could get with that, and even then you had to spend even more money just to get even more cosmetics in the game. That was probably one of the worst examples. It's also very similar to the Avengers game, rest in peace. Obviously this game did come with its own deluxe edition as well, and of course that game just had in-game transactions as well, so they required you to spend even more money just to pay for their shitty skins in their game. So yeah, obviously I'm not a big fan of deluxe editions. Perhaps that's going to be a video I could make a video on I don't know, it could be a good topic to talk about, but let me know if you guys want to hear that in the future. But all in all, the standard edition is probably the way to go for Star Wars Outlaws. Now, to summarise things up, do I think Star Wars Outlaws is going to be a truly good game? I think absolutely. This game could definitely deliver, and also gave us the foundation of what Jedi Fallen Order and a Survivor did. And if they build upon that, then of course they can see ourselves as a good amount of success of this game. If they followed the structure of other successful Star Wars games, I could see this being an absolute win. So there you guys have it. What do you guys think of Star Wars Outlaws in the comment section? Leave a comment down below and let me know. Are you going to pick up? Do you think it's even worth it at this point? There's been so many different Star Wars games. Or are you just going to go back to playing Battlefront 2 and choke-holding people as Darth Vader? Let me know. And if you are new here, consider subscribing and of course supporting the channel, because we are incredibly close to 5,000 subscribers, which is incredible. I didn't think I'd ever get to 5k, let alone even reaching 1,000. So yeah, thank you all so much. But without further ado, thank you very much guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care and peace.